This session will discuss the January 2012 state of AccountChooser.com. The focus of that effort is on improving the user experience of federated sign-in, because the best experience we have so far is something like this. This is Yahoo's login page, where there's the option to log in with your Yahoo ID and password, but also options for Facebook, for Google, for create a new account, just overwhelming options for users. And imagine trying to add more buttons here for more identity providers. So as a community of identity experts, we went back to the drawing board, come up with something better, and in doing so, we ended up back to one of the first steps people take to log into a computer, where some of y'all may have seen a screen like this on Windows 7, as well as Mac, Chrome OS, etc., where signing in is as simple as clicking your picture. So we wanted to find a way to bring that account chooser experience into the web browser. What we're going to show here is a walkthrough of a actually working system. So imagine a user, Eric. He wants to access the internet on a device he has never used before, maybe a new mobile phone, PC, etc. Here we'll use screenshots from a mobile phone. First thing, commonly he wants to check his email, so he goes to his email provider, enters his email address, password, maybe additional factors of authentication if need be. But once he's authenticated, he now might see a screen like this one, where he's asked to confirm that this is in fact an account that he's going to use a lot on this computer. So user OK, they click their picture, and at this point they're in their Gmail inbox. Nothing big has changed. Now imagine later that same user, they come across a website. Maybe it's an e-commerce site, though this one is a testing site, so you can ignore the test text on it. And the user wants to sign in, so they click that button. Now, in the back of the mind, the user, like many of y'all, is thinking, oh my God, is this a site where I've registered in the past? And if so, what was my password? How am I going to log in? Or, oh, maybe I'm going to have to go and register an account, verify my email address, and all those steps. So he's a bit apprehensive, but after he clicks sign in, instead what he sees is this screen. It's a lot better than what he expected. Goes ahead and clicks the account he wants to use, and immediately finds he's logged in. Well, now this is one happy user. In fact, so happy he goes and tells his wife, "Hey, you should try this out." And so imagine this device was a PC that the two of them shared. She might also go to try out this website. She would click to sign out, but before signing out, she might even notice the option to switch account. And when she did that, she would be redirected to that same screen as before. Seeing a list of accounts, but she doesn't see her account listed. Instead, there's the option to sign into another account. And when she clicks that, she now sees a number of different options, providers like Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Facebook, etc., or the ability to just type her email address from scratch. But she's a Yahoo Mail user, so she goes ahead and clicks the Yahoo button. Then, like normal, she's asked to log into Yahoo, but after doing so, she's again shows one of these screens where she's asked to confirm she wants to add this account to the computer in addition to the other account that Eric added earlier before. She goes ahead and does that. And boom, she also is now immediately logged into this e-commerce site and is quite happy. Now, if the two of them share the machines, they can even now nicely just switch back and forth between the accounts on this website, quite likely without even having to log in again. Well, that's great, but how did this work? What was going on behind the scenes? Well, let's go back and look at a couple of the screens. The first is this screen that the user Eric saw after logging into his email account. Now, the design goal is for this page to be served by the internet domain AccountChooser.com. These demos are in a testing app, so it's AccountChooser.appspot.com, but that's just testing part. The domain AccountChooser.com is a central domain that will be run by the OpenID Foundation, and it has no storage. It's not trying to track information about users, but just serves up an HTML5 application which keeps a list of their accounts in their browser. Any website on the internet that wants to can simply redirect this user to this domain with the information about the account they think the user wants to add. For example, this is the page the wife saw earlier when she added her account. But this central domain will only actually add the account to the account list if the user confirms that they want to do so. Once that's done, the user can then go to any website that has this special sign-in button. They will be bounced to accountchooser.com, and they will then be shown a list of all the accounts that users have consented to include on this machine. Might even include these users' work accounts or other email accounts they have. And the user just simply clicks their picture. Now, notice nicely, for each of these accounts, the user only has to have added it and considered it once. From then on, any website they go to that clicks this special sign-in button will see this list of accounts. Now, when the user does click an account, what happens is actually quite basic. The accountchooser.com site just sends back to the original website the name, photo, and email address shown here. And it is now completely up to that other website to decide what to do with that information. For example, maybe that website is not a relying party and doesn't do anything with federated login, and instead always asks users for a password. So if a user clicked an email address in accountchooser.com, fine, the website says, okay, well, you claim to be Fred at Comcast.net or Sarah at Yahoo.com, but you need to confirm that by typing your password. So a very key thing to notice here is there's value in websites deploying an account chooser even if they are not yet a relying party. Now, if the site is a relying party, though, the user experience can be much better. For example, it can log the user in immediately. Now, maybe the site used to only let people log in with passwords and now has become a relying party. Fine, well, if the identity provider asserted an email address, and that email address matches an account in the system that traditionally just logged in with password, then just go ahead and immediately upgrade it and log the user in. So notice how easy the user experience shift is for customers if a site becomes a relying party after deploying an account chooser. There's really no change for them. It's just go to the account chooser list, click their picture, and boom, they're in. Now, in some cases, the email that's asserted by the identity provider is not going to be in the system. So in that case, this website would show a registration form, maybe multiple steps if need be. For those of you techies out there, you might be aware that traditionally in one of these cases, the identity provider would show a consent screen to get the user's consent to share information with the website. However, interestingly, realize this accountchooser.com webpage is already sufficient to get the user's consent. They saw an entry with their name, picture, and email. They clicked on it. That's their consent to share the information with the website. And so there is, in fact, advanced JavaScript integration that an identity provider can do with accountchooser.com to detect that the user already gave their consent instead of asking them for it again. Now, there are some more advanced relying parties who are going to ask for more information about the user's account than just their email address and name. And in that case, a consent screen would be shown. Also, as was pointed out earlier, there's a flow by which a user can add another account to a site they're visiting or to the computer. When they do that, the site they're trying to log into gets complete control over what options exist to add an account. Maybe the site only lets people log in with passwords. Maybe it only supports one identity provider or multiple identity providers, or a mix of identity providers and logging in with the password. It's up to that website to decide that. And in fact, one of the advantages is in this flow, the website can even optimize the list of options they present to the user based on things like IP geolocation or language. For example, if the user is coming from a Russian IP address, the website might add a button for the popular mail.ru webmail service there and take away one of the other buttons. And if the user is used to that other button or just doesn't see their identity provider listed, they can always just type their email address, and the site can then figure out, oh, is there an identity provider for that address, or should they be asked for a password? But the end goal in the common case is the users can go to any site, they can click the sign-in button, they then simply click the picture of any of their accounts that they want to use, and that's it, they're signed in, no more than that. So if you want to learn more about this, especially if you operate a website and you want to integrate this flow, please visit accountchooser.com, which is run by the OpenID Foundation, and you will learn a lot more information about what we're doing. In fact, if you go to the For Website Owners page, there's a link down at the bottom to track or join the working group to define an industry standard for account choosers. Currently, there is a goal to launch this central account chooser that we demonstrated here in Q2 of 2012. And if you go to that working group site, it does have instructions to play with the current version or to help contribute to it. In the meantime, there are already websites and vendor products that have implemented a local account chooser. We call it local because in that case, each website keeps its own list of accounts. And again, that For Website Owners page actually mentions a few of these products like the Google Identity Toolkit and Jan Rain's Login Helper. In addition, there are websites who are already live and have implemented this, both live ones and test ones. So here is a test site using one of these products. And you notice a similar experience. User has clicked sign in, they see a list of accounts, and they pick the one they want. But you notice this list is not shown by accountchooser.com. It's shown by the site itself. And there are already some big websites who have deployed account choosers themselves. So that For Website Owners page has a link in it to opt in to using an account chooser on Google. And if you do so, you'll see screens like this one, where when you visit a Google login page, there on the right is the list of accounts that you could choose to use. You simply click the one you want to use. Maybe you're asked for a password, maybe you're already signed in, maybe an identity provider is used. However, interestingly, Google is primarily rolling this out for scenarios where there is no identity provider involved, where people are just logging in with their Gmail address and password or other email address and password. But we found there's so much value in improved user experience and reducing the friction of sign up for these users that we are deploying it widely across Google, even without aggressive use of identity providers. So I hope this was interesting to you and that you'll go to accountchooser.com to learn more about this and help us kill some passwords. Thank you.